Let's go to Beirut and speak to Elias Hanna, a senior lecturer on strategy, geopolitics and history of Lebanon at the American University of Beirut. He's also a retired general in the Lebanese army. General, thank you so much for your time. Actually, do you mind if we start where Rahul almost ended there, about the potential Israeli attack on southern Gaza? First of all, are you convinced that will happen? And second, how can Israel do that without killing thousands more civilians?
Usually, when you declare your objectives, or the enemy declares his objectives, you have to go and see the means really to achieve all of this. The Israelis, they have 170,000 active fighting forces, so they cannot really commit in the northern parts of Gaza Strip, as well as in the south, having in mind some unexpected contingencies in the region. What would the Israeli do if the northern fronts open up? So you have to take into consideration. However, they have to start where they are really prepared to continue. It's in the northern part. The possible scenario for all of this is really isolate the north from the south totally, and then maybe trying to encircle or isolate Khan Yunis, because Khan Yunis is 54 square kilometers, more than Gaza City, 45 square kilometers. In Khan Yunis today, you have 1.7 million people, displaced people. So I think that it will be really trying to encircle or isolate and then finish the northern part of Gaza and then go. And in order to really finish the northern part of Gaza, you need time, you need means, you need the window of the international window of time that is led by by the Americans. But this is the way. I think that the most possible scenario, maybe if they can really finish the northern of Gaza and then come into encircling the Gaza, the southern part of Gaza, and maybe, according to some rumors, that they go to the Beirut 1982 formula or model, and negotiation and all of that. So it's not easy to go and fight at two fronts at the same time, not taking into consideration the unexpected contingencies.
Just explain briefly for me, if you don't mind, General, whether the Beirut model means an increased likelihood of fighting or a diminished likelihood of fighting. Does the Beirut model mean more fighting or less?
No, when you finish, if they can finish, it's not really assured that they can finish Gaza. We have to see now if they can finish the Gaza city or the northern part. And then they go into encircling, this is the model of Beirut, encircling Khan Yunis, and then try to negotiate, because in Beirut model, they try to destroy all of Beirut from sea, air, land, and all of that, and then trying to negotiate with the PLO at that time to make the fighters of the PLO to go outside of Beirut to Tunisia. But the major difference between the PLO of 1982 in Beirut and what's in Khan Yunis, that the PLO were like a refugee in Lebanon. They are not really Lebanese. They were being able to leave to Tunisia. When you talk about Gaza, Hamas and Jihad al-Islami, they are they are Palestinian and they are living in their home. How can they are really being able to leave the area? But in order to really understand the situation, there is some, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to understand what you meant by the Beirut model, so you made that clear. Do you think that possibly, if there's some sort of arrangement that can be made for Israel's security to be guaranteed in some way, that it would not face threats to its security from Gaza, that Israel might actually decide, okay, we could stop our attacks because we have this kind of arrangement? The question to you, General, is do you see the possibility of that arrangement, and who could be involved as a possible external force to guarantee Israeli security and it not being attacked from Gaza?
I think if you want to understand really your question, and this is a very important question, we have to go and read between the lines the American messages. The American messages are like threefolds or three parts. First, secure, improving the security of Israel from Hamas, and then degrading Hamas militarily to a certain point, not being able to fight again. Three, create the situation on the ground that is really, possible for maybe a political solution for the future. And now I do remember I have read somewhere that Yehuda Barak said, that maybe why we don't ask the NATO to come. I think that Israelis will never allow any foreign forces to come into Israel or to come into the occupied Palestine and Gaza. I think that they will create what we call a buffer zone that in the northern part of Gaza, and then maybe to try to diminish as far as possible the capabilities of Hamas. What is really like an indicator, why do we have field hospitals in the south? Why do we have on water hospitals? Why we allowed like 700 trucks to go inside? Maybe it was like a preparation for something to be done in the north. And according to the Wall Street Journal, they said that they need like 3 to 4 weeks. I said that they need more than that.
Just finally and briefly, if you don't mind, General, are you actually surprised at how Hamas has been able to resist so far against the Israeli military, the strongest probably in the region?
No, because we've seen it in 2006, because you have non-state actor fighting against the most advanced army in the world, maybe. But the way you fight in war and in battles, it's about the how, not the quantity. If you go back to the 7th of October, because it was like low-tech versus high-tech, it's about how you really manage to surprise your enemy. Moreover, Israel, if it wants to fight, and when they have to fight like in 3 dimensions, X and Y and Z, this is the vertical, and maybe the vertical underground, they have to go into the the tunnels. And the main problem for Israel is how they can really measure the success. With Hamas, they cannot really so far measure their success, and they're being able to translate it into political gains.
Elias Hanna, thank you so much indeed for your time, sir. Very much appreciated.